Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to discuss the game played between Anish Giri versus Dubov Daniil from the World Rapid 2022. So it's going to be a very interesting, a very epic game. Anish Giri recently won the Tata Steel Masters 2023, and Dubov Daniil, as we know, no need of introduction. He is the modern Mikhail Tal. He likes to play very creative. So it's going to be very much fun. The game is simply epic, and I'm going to ask you to pause the video 7 times at 7 different positions, and let's see how many can you guess it right. It's going to be very much fun, so let's check it out. So Anish Giri is playing with white pieces, and Dubov is playing with black pieces. I have kept Dubov Daniil in our position, and the time control of the tournament of the rapid format is 15 minutes plus 10-second increment. So Anish Giri with the white pieces opens up with 1 knight f3. We have d5 by Dubov, g3, king's Indian attack setup, g6 by Dubov, bishop g2, bishop g7, d4, and then knight to f6. We have the same position, same copycat position, the king's Indian attack, double fianchetto variation. And now here we have c4 by Anish. More like a Catalan structure, I would say. But currently this position is King's Indian. We have c6, and now we have c into d5 by Anish. If white tries to castle in this position, here black can simply capture the pawn, and you have to play a4 to stop this b5. Because as black have already committed the move c6, he's going to play b5. If you try to play something like queen c2, b5 can be a very good move by black. That is the reason white plays a4, and here black can play knight e4. The idea is to play knight d6, protect the pawn. And if I try to show you guys a sample line, queen c2 is the best move, hitting the knight and the pawn, knight d6, and here comes e4. You can't play a move like knight a3 because of bishop f5, and black simply gets a tempo. So you have to play e4, short castle, knight a3, going for the pawn, and now we have knight a6. If you try to capture the pawn, knight to b4, hitting the queen, and here we simply have a5 protecting the knight, and after a knight trade, this position is already equal. This pawn is a bit of weakness. I guess c5 can be in the air. The position is already good for, slightly better for black, or more or less equal. So yeah, so this is the best variation. That is one of the most critical reason Anish decided to capture the pawn on d5. And like Dubov likes to play a very complex position, and compared to Anish, he's more like a positional player. That is the reason he kept the position very equalish. We have knight to c3, black short castle. Here we have knight to e5 by Anish, centralizing the knight, putting pressure on the pawn on d5. And now a simple move can be to play knight to c6 and white short castle, and the game continues like bishop f5. But Dubov likes to play creatively. He went for the move knight to e4, and yeah, you can already sense it. Knight e4. Here Anish decided to capture the knight. Pawn takes, and here we have bishop into e4. So white is like, okay, I'm a pawn up. Now what? So okay, many of you must be thinking now bishop into knight, pawn into, and the game goes like queen f5 check. Perhaps black tries to grab the pawn back, but no. It's better for white then, because white is having the bishop. So Dubov went for the move knight to c6. He's putting the pressure on the pawn on d4, as well as putting the pressure on the knight on e5. And now Anish is like, okay, let's capture the knight. Pawn take. And now let's use all the basic fundamentals theory, and let's evaluate the position. White is the pawn up. White is having the bishop pair. Black pawn structure, I would say black is the pawn down. Black is having a weak pawn on c6. It should be good for white. But no, it's not. It's equal. And here, after b into c6, if you try to capture the pawn, which wasn't happening in the game, after bishop into c6, here you have rook b8. And here black is currently hitting the pawn. So if you try to castle in this position, here black can play bishop h3, rook e1, and here bishop into d4. And this position is already equal because, first of all, okay, black is a pawn down, but in the exchange, just look at this compensation. B2 pawn is simply in the is simply lost. I would say the bishop cannot move because the B2 pawn is hanging. You can't push the B pawn because the rook is hanging. And even after the queen trade, I would still say that it's an equal position. It's not like black is winning, but it's equal. So that's the reason. And okay, after rook b8, if you try to play a move like e3, trying to protect the pawn on d4, here we have bishop h3, black simply stops white from castling, and e5 is a very dangerous move, opening up the center as white king is in the center. So it's going to be very dangerous for white to react. So that's the main reason. After knight into c6, b into c6, white didn't went for capturing the pawn on c6, and Anish went for the move bishop e3, which is the best move. Protecting the pawn, because if you try to play a move like e3, which is not a good move, still bishop h3 is in the air. So bishop e3 was played by white in the position, bishop h3 still, not allowing white to short castle, and after bishop h3, white went for the move f3. White's idea here is he wants to play king f2 and he basically wants to do an artificial castle. So we have rook b8 in the game and b3 by white. Because the rook was simply hitting the pawn, so white simply protected it by playing b3. And guys, here's my first question. You can feel free to pause the video and try to find the best move for black in this position, the creative idea of Dubov. So please feel free to pause the video and try to find the best move for black, which was played in the game. Okay, so I hope that you guys must have found it a very creative idea. Rook b4, a rook lift is always creative. And rook b4, the idea is simply amazing. The pawn is simply attacked on d4. And you can't really defend it because if you try to play a move like queen d2 hitting the rook, we simply have queen b6. And like if you try to play pawn push hitting the queen, now we have bishop d4, making the position more complicated. And you can't really capture because after rook into d4, the queen is attacked, black is going to capture the pawn, black is having too much compensation. That's the reason you have to play king f2 and now f5, bishop d3, and here this position is equalish after cd. So yeah, but rook b4, this wasn't played in the game, and Anish went for a safer move which was king f2, making the king safe. Here comes f5 by black, hitting the bishop. Like he could have also went for the move of bishop into pawn, but after queen d2, the things get a bit messy. And basically, you have to protect the rook, and on the next move, white is going to bring the rook, hitting the bishop and the queen. That was the reason f5 was a very nice move. Bishop into c6, and now, here's my second question. Feel free to pause the video, and what are you going to play in this position from the black side? Okay, so all those who have came up with this move, f4, brilliant. It was simply a good move. Brilliant move, I would say. You are basically hitting the bishop and the pawn. You want to open up the rook file. And here in the game, we have gf4. If white would have captured with the bishop, which was a bad move, simply bishop into d4 check, and the rook is lost. And eventually, okay, like if you try to play king e1, queen b6 is game over. So the best move is to play e3, and after takes, a couple of trades, this is better for black already. Yeah, because you are having an exchanger. So yep. So that was the reason white decided to capture the pawn with the pawn. And here's my third question. What are you going to play in this position from the black side? Okay, if you guys really found this move, I'm simply impressed. e5. Wow, even Mikhail would have been impressed by watching this game. e5, sacrificing another pawn, the square which is already protected by the two pawns. The basic idea here is to open up the queen. And yeah, many options for white. Basically, two main options to capture the pawn with the pawn. Because black wants to capture the pawn on f4 with the pawn to hit the bishop, trying to block the escape square for the king. So in the game we have d5. If fe5 would have been played in the game, queen h4 check, king g1, bishop into e5, very strong move. You cannot capture because of me. So yeah. So after bishop into pawn, the best move is to play bishop to e4. And after bishop f4, bishop takes, rook takes, bishop check, king g7, queen e1, trying to trade the queens. We have rook g4, a brilliant move. Fg4, which is the best, takes queen g3, which is a losing move because of this. So you must play a move like king f2, queen h4 check, king f3, queen g4 check. You can't go. You can go back and it's draw. Like it's a very complicated position. You can't really calculate it in a rapid game. Yeah. So 2D. So, yeah, but okay. Anish went for the move pawn takes. Queen h4 check by Dubov. King g1. And here we have rook into pawn. Okay, I was thinking to pause the video, but I thought that okay, this is one of the most natural move I would say. You can actually give us exchange sacrifice after giving 3 pawns for sack. So rook takes pawn, bishop takes, rook takes, queen takes. Like even if it count the material, black is having 3 pawns, white is having 6 pawns, 3 pawns extra, and white is also exchange up. So it's like 5 points material. And with the white pieces, Anish Giri is playing the 2700 player. So yeah. Okay, after queen into f4, we have queen to d5 check by white, king h8, and now queen to e4 by Anish. He wants to trade the queen because once the queens get traded, it's completely winning for white. We have queen g5 check, king move, rook f4. Because if you try to give a check like this, king e3, bishop h6 check, f4, and guys, believe me, the king have already been escaped. Because if you try to really capture this pawn now, we simply have queen f4, and after takes, basically the queen is hanging. That's the main stuff. So that is the reason this check is not working. We have rook f4 in the game, hitting the queen, queen to d5, queen h4 check, king to e3. And here's my fourth question, I guess. What are you going to play in this position for black? It is the only winning move for it is the only move for black to take the advantage, and this move wasn't Dubov wasn't able to find it. So can you find it? Okay, so all those who have came up with the move, it's a very silent move, rook f5, and the basic idea is here is the e5 is hanging with the queen and the king, and it's winning for black. But yeah, that's the stuff. Like the queen is also coming in. There is no way to prevent it. But rook f8 was played in the game, which made the position equal again. Queen to c5, again a blunder. Okay, so here's your fifth question, I guess. What are you going to play in the position? So feel free to pause the video and try to find the winning move for black. Okay, so all those who have came up with the move. Queen g5 check. Brilliant move. You need to be precise at calculation to find this move, or else you're going to miss it. Like there are many moves to consider in this position. Like bishop h6 move is a bishop h6 check can be a move. And yeah, queen f5, queen f4 check could have been a move, but queen g5 is winning. In the game, we have first queen f4 check, Dubov repeated once, and then we have queen g5 check. Okay, the main reason here is that bishop h6 check is not working because if bishop h6 check, white is going to play king to d3, bishop check. Now we have king c3, and believe me guys, the king have been escaped. And if you try to give a check like this now, king c2, and white king is still the safest. Like after bishop f5 check e4, the position is under control. That's the point. Uh, we have this queen g5 check, and now we have king to d3. And here's my sixth question: what are you going to play in this position from the black side? And okay, this is the last move. So what are you going to play in this position from the black side? It's the only winning move for black. Okay, so although we have came up with the move rook d8 check, congratulations. Bishop f5 check is not working, guys, because of e4. So rook d8 check, bringing pieces into the game. King moved, bishop check. King moved, bishop to f8, hitting the queen. Queen moved, rook b8 check, king moved, queen to e7, threatening mate in 1. a3, bishop into pawn check. You have to capture. If you try to run away like this, queen c7 check is a mate. Okay, so you have to capture, and after takes, queen e6 was played by Dubov. The bishop is hanging, and after bishop takes, the queen bishop versus rook is winning for black because the king is already very exposed. That's the reason after on the move number 36, Anish Giri decided to resign the game, and we have the champion, Dubov Daniil. A legendary game, a brilliant game played by Dubov Daniil. He's often known for his opening preparation, the way he prepares, the way he plays like a Mikhail Tal, a modern Mikhail Tal, an accurate Mikhail Tal, like an engine. So yeah, it was our pleasure of watching this game, and you can actually watch this live game on ChessBase India's channel. I'm going to put the link on the description below. All credit goes to ChessBase India for recording the video, and the game is extremely epic. The live match between Anish versus Dubov Daniil, you can watch it, and it's been fun. So I'm going to come up with these interesting videos like this. I hope that this game must have inspired you to check out some more new games of Dubov Daniil. You can check out the games of Dubov Daniil, which opening he plays against which opening, and perhaps if you like to play attackingly, I guess you can check out the games of Dubov. It is going to really help you to improve your chess. I'm going to see you soon. Till then, stay tuned and keep watching One Shot Chess.